Going to jump into the baseball conversation now as we welcome in Bryan Carmichael, head coach of Egg Harbor Township. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Dave.
How's it going, man?
It's going. Just getting ready to have practice today. Guys are coming out 9 o'clock. Gonna have a little bit of a light workout today, and we had a day off yesterday, so I could go watch Cherry Hill East play against Powell, and then we'll get things going here and get ready for Tuesday.
Kind of Coach, a much different season than you've had in the recent past. I mean, the last couple of years you kind of rolled a little bit through the regular season and then had some troubles in the postseason. This year, a little bit of the opposite way around. A little bit of a slow start. You got bit by the injury bug a lot, and at one point this team was 4-4, kind of treading water. But late in the season, guys started getting healthy again. You've always had the talent with this team, and what was the mindset coming into this pro season? I got to assume these guys were pretty confident knowing the talent they have.
Absolutely. One of the things it was kind of a strange year for us. We didn't really play that well in the preseason. We had all these high expectations put on us with preseason rankings. And I remember telling the guys, it was like a day or two before we opened up, and I told them, I said, listen, nobody's handing out trophies in April. I don't care. It doesn't matter where we're ranked now. It's where we finish the season, and then we go and get off to a slow start, 0-4. But we played some pretty good competition. The schedule was beefed up a little bit this year because we wanted to be battle tested. I thought that we weren't battle tested last year. Get it to 4-4, and I think we're starting to turn the corner and start to play a little bit better as a team, and then we start to get hit with the injuries. And then it was just like every day that we came out here, it was one injury after another. We're starting to get some of the guys back. They're obviously not 100%. And then we got some other guys that have gotten injured also in the meantime. So yeah, I mean, the kids, one of the biggest things that I try to do as the coach is just stay even keeled. I know you mentioned like peaks and valleys, and I can't show my emotions to these kids. We just kind of stay even keel, and the best thing about baseball is you get to do it again the next day, and just try to be a better version of ourselves each day, and kind of be present where our feet are.
Coach, kind of shows how good the baseball is in the Cape Atlantic League. You still got 3 or 4 teams left. I know Ocean City could still be going, but they lost a heartbreaker 3-2 in 10 innings to Toms River East. Still got Prep, still got Cedar Creek. So as you're going through this regular season, like you said, you're facing some pretty good teams when you talk about Ocean City, Absegami, Mainland, Holy Spirit, Prep. These are some really good teams that kind of get you ready for that postseason mode.
Absolutely, and I don't think we get enough credit down this area. Everybody talks about how tough other conferences are in divisions. I think the baseball in this conference is really, really good, and it's got a lot of really good baseball coaches. So you got to be on your toes every day. That Ocean City team, when we played them, I don't know how many weeks ago it was, 2-3 weeks ago. I thought it was one of the best teams that we had seen all year. They were red hot. They pitched well, they hit well, they fielded it well. I left there really impressed with the Red Raiders and what Coach Bristol's doing over there.
If you're just joining us, we're talking to Bryan Carmichael, head coach of Egg Harbor Township, number 16 seed into the South Jersey Group 4 semifinals. Coach, what was the message to your guys going up against Shawnee, the number 1 seed, a team that had been really playing well the last couple of weeks and kind of looked like world beaters coming into the playoffs, and you guys go up there, you got to travel up to Shawnee, you beat them 5-3. What did you say to the guys before a game like that?
Honestly, I didn't really have to say much, Dave. We scrimmage Shawnee every year. It's a traditional scrimmage. We've been scrimmaging them for the longest time. So, right before we left for Myrtle Beach, I think it was March 2020 or March 19th, we scrimmaged them. We went up there. It was a really good scrimmage. Nothing into the 5th, and obviously we're all using different pitchers. So one of the things that they had done that day was they had thrown the Blasen kid at us. So our kids seen him that day. I think he threw 3 innings. They knew what to expect going in, and just pretty much just told them, guys, listen, these guys are no different than us. They're a Group 4 school. We saw them play in the Diamond Classic. At the time when we played them, they were ranked number 5 in the state, number 1 in South Jersey. And the kids believed that, that really didn't matter to them, the ranking, because they had seen them prior in the preseason and they knew they were going to beat them.
Coach, obviously a lot of folks in South Jersey know about some of the players on your team, particularly Jordan Sweeney, Corey Kessler, Robbie Petrossi, and Petrossi's been hitting the heck out of the ball recently. We all know what he's capable of, but some guys have really stepped up, most notably Mike Dodd on the hill. You have guys like Garrett Smith really hitting the ball well, and some other guys that can come in on the mound. Talk about some of these guys that maybe people don't know about that much.
Yeah, one of the guys that you missed there too. He's actually second on the team in hitting. Is Anthony Feinstein. He's a first year varsity player. We tried working him, using him as our catcher in the preseason. Wasn't really a catcher. He wasn't comfortable back there, and he came to me and said, "Coach, I'd like to have a crack in the outfield." So he started the season as our DH, and then obviously when Bobby Baxter got hurt, it was a natural fit for him to move to left field, and he's kind of taken off with it. He's got 25 hits on the year. He kind of got snubbed out in the all-conference voting, really put up all-conference numbers this year. You mentioned Garrett Smith, another kid, junior, who got, was fortunate to really got it, some things opened up for him in the preseason, and he's taken, advantage of that. Another guy that kind of, no one really knew about, flew under the radar, and he came in the other day and he was throwing absolute pellets at the end of the game is Ethan Dodd, Mike Dodd's younger brother. And I think it was Dave Weinberg asked me, he's like, "Coach, Ethan mentioned to me that he hasn't really pitched much this year." And then you go to him there at the end of the game. And I said, "Well, we've always known what Ethan can do as a pitcher, and we think very highly of him as a pitcher. It's just that preseason and at the beginning of the year, he won the job at second base, and I felt that we just needed to let him, being a young kid, sophomore, concentrate on playing being an offensive player and playing defense. And we're fortunate enough that we have enough arms that we really hadn't had to use them. And then with the injuries, that's the good thing. I guess the bright spot about the injuries, we've had to give guys opportunities that maybe wouldn't got opportunities in other years, and it's only going to make us better. So we've built a lot of depth in the last month or so.
Talk with Coach Bryan Carmichael from Egg Harbor Township. They're the number 16 seed. They're into the South Jersey Group 4 semifinals. Going to be taking on Cherry Hill East next week. And, Coach, one guy I really love on your team, and just because of the mentality he brings, you don't always find this on high school teams, but it's so important, a guy that can just do whatever's asked of him. He might not pitch for 2 weeks and be called on to come into a 3-3 game in the fifth is Alex Gallagher. I mean, this kid is just – and he'll get outs. He's not going to throw by a lot of guys, but he'll come in there, do the job, get outs, and at the end of the game, hey, I just want to help my team. And that's the kind of guys you need to kind of fill out a roster with all the star power.
Absolutely. And, Alex is a guy that we've counted on time and time again. We have the W flag that we raise here at our field when we for the player of the game and after we win. And Alex is the only guy on the team that's actually had the opportunity to fly it more than once during the season. It's because he's come in the game in a pressure situation where he's come up and with a big hit. And he was a guy that when we brought Ethan in the other day to close the game out. Alex is the guy we put at second base, and we were kind of joking around and having fun with him. And because I think it was out of the next 9 outs, I think 4 or 5 balls were hit to him at second base. And that's just kind of the way baseball works. You put the guy in there, and next thing the ball's hit to him, and it was like a couple consecutive plays in a row, and we were having a good time with it.
Coach, how excited are these guys to be in the position they're in? I'm sure they've heard it all year. Oh, what's wrong with EHT? Why are they a 500 team? They were number 16 preseason. They got all these Division I guys, and I'm sure they're kind of maybe not feeling a little vindication, but just thrilled about being able to get on this roll and really put themselves in a position to be where they're playing in the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, no one ever really pushed the panic button, including, the coaches, the kids. We just came out and just continued to do what we do. knowing that at some point in time we would turn it around. And, there's various reasons why we're 13-11. Some days we threw strikes, some days we didn't. Some days we fielded the ball, some days we didn't. Some days, we can look like, one of the greatest offensive teams ever, and then the next day we can come out and struggle at the plate. At the end of the day, and I get this from the assistant coach. I think it's a great line. Assistant coach Kenny Williams at Millville. On any given day, are my 17 and 18-year-olds better than your 17 and 18-year-olds? We're dealing with high school kids,
right?
And that's the truth. Like there's a lot going on in their lives, and we just got to, that's why no one really pushed the panic button at all this year. We just kept doing what we do. We believe in what we do. We believe in the program. The kids believe in it. I think someone mentioned that the other day. And we knew we had if we got into the playoffs, that we could make some noise. We know we're a good baseball team.
Coach, what's the buzz around school? I mean, this is always a big time of year at Egg Harbor Township. You have those great track teams, and typically the softball team is in the playoffs. All these good teams in spring, and it's got to be cool to be on a team. Like you said, these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old, and to be on a team that's winning in the playoffs, just to go to school every day, it's got to be cool. You're getting high fives in the hallway, and everybody's talking about the teachers are congratulating you, that kind of stuff. So, no matter what happens the rest of the way, that's always a neat thing for a high school kid to be involved with a winning team in the playoffs.
No, absolutely. The vibe in school is really good right now. It's really positive. There's, like you said, there's people, teachers, administrators, superintendent sending emails, and really, it makes you feel good. It makes the kids feel good that people, know what you're doing out there and what's going on and follow the program. So yeah, it's good for the morale in the school right now. It really, this is always a fun time of year.
Good stuff, Coach. We appreciate it. I know you got to get to work and get out there to practice. We appreciate you taking a few minutes. Good luck on Tuesday against Cherry Hill East, man.
Thank you very much, Dave. Nick, thanks for having me. And love what you guys do for the area covering sports. You guys do a great job. Keep it up.
You got it. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.